Hi there. So we started talking a few weeks about lessons that I've learned through book writing journey. This one I want to share with you today is very simple. You got to be okay in the messy middle. Don't expect perfection. I say this because I like for things to be done right, and I like for things to be done fast. And in going through the process of writing a book, I realized you got to put yourself out there and be vulnerable and be okay with a big mess. I have a friend named Barb's who she helped me with editing the book. And I remember last year in January, it's the beginning of 2019, we sat down and we went through my first draft of the book. And it was such a mess that we had to decide, is this even the right format for the book? What does this chapter even go together? What's the order? How should it be? But out of that meeting, I got so much direction. If I hadn't been willing to be okay in the mess and get it out there and get started, I would have never made it to the other side where I actually have a cohesive book with multiple thoughts that run through it. What about you? What is on your heart? Are you afraid of not being perfect or making mistakes? You're never going to accomplish the vision God has for you if you're not willing to make some mistakes along the way, if you're not willing to put yourself out there. Now, our friend Nehemiah that we've been studying in the Bible, he also had these type of things. Remember last week we talked about the negative voices. Actually, 2 weeks ago, we talked about negative voices and these two men, Sanballat and Tobias, and how they were constantly at Nehemiah. Well, here they come again in chapter 4, and they basically look at the progress of the wall and they say, if a fox could jump on it, he would break this stone wall. Now, I'm no expert on trash talk, but it sounds like some trash talk to me, right? So I don't know much about foxes either, but they're basically saying your wall is so poorly built, so poorly constructed that if an animal came by, it'd knock it over. What you're doing is not good, and it's not going to get you where you want to go. But I love Nehemiah's response. He just keeps going. It says in chapter 4, verse 6, the people had a mind to work. They decided to work and they just kept at it. They didn't care what these two men had to say. They didn't care that it probably was really messy in the middle, right? It's a construction project. They just kept going because they had the mindset to work. I think we have to have that same mindset. We have to say, this is what we're doing. This is what God's calling us to do. It might be messy. We might make mistakes, but we have a mind to work and to move forward. So I want to encourage you. If you look around you and your life feels like a mess, the projects feel like a mess, don't be discouraged. Don't expect perfection. Just keep taking the steps that are right in front of you, because that's how you're going to make progress and that's how you're going to learn the right way to go.